Hi, it's Patty Blue Hayes, and I wanted to share a few thoughts on healing from heartbreak and, in particular, moving on from divorce. I recently, today, was in a bookshop and picked up a book called Transcending Divorce, and this is written by Alan Wolfelt, PhD. Transcending Divorce 10 Essential Touchstones for Finding Hope and Healing Your Heart. And it struck me kind of interesting because I'd been very focused on the healing from heartbreak aspect after my marriage ended. And to be honest, I don't even like the word divorce. To me, it just sounds like a four-letter word. I don't like it. It sounds ugly and has just ugly connotations to me. I don't like the word. And I realize that's an opportunity to explore what my feelings are about the word divorce and how my beliefs are about that. And maybe that's something that I haven't really explored and dealt with. And that leads me to my thought on letting you know, if you're going through a heartbreak or divorce or breakup, that a lot of people will say, you should be past it, you should be over it. When are you going to be through with this, loss part and of your divorce? And it takes as much time as it takes. When there's a marriage and you think that that's going to be forever, until death do you part, that's a huge bond of your heart and your soul. Your lives are merged together. Your families are enmeshed. You may have children together. You have plans for the future. You might have bequeathed things in your wills to each other. And that is a huge sacred bond that doesn't just disappear and you don't just get over it. And I'm a few years past my divorce, and there are still at times it's natural when there's holidays or birthdays or graduations. And for me in particular, with publishing my book, Wine, Sex, and Suicide, while I tried to keep it kind of under the radar, I do know that his family is aware of my book, and that felt like another severing of a connection to family. The relationships had kind of worn on a little bit. They'd obviously not been the same as they used to be, but knowing that they then knew about my book being out made me feel even more disconnected, and that there was another little loss, I guess, in there. So I encourage you to just take the time that you need to heal, to grieve, to process, and that there's always a different layer of understanding that we can get while going through an experience, whether it's 6 months out, a year out, 3 years out, 5 years out. Certainly the length of the relationship has an effect, and the process for healing just takes the time that it takes. And the point is to do it with intention and deliberate action. I learned this the hard way as well, that I chronicled in my book, where I was avoiding and numbing and denying, and then and wanting to get to the other side, but not having the tools and techniques, not having the knowledge how to do that. And so I floundered in the pain body and wanting to avoid the pain. And obviously there were some issues toward the end of the marriage where my self-worth was at the lowest it could be. And so I wasn't operating from a sense of well-being or a sense of having autonomy. And that also, I think, factored into the self-destructive behavior that I was doing. So I'm curious to read this book, and I just encourage you to explore some bookstores. This was actually at a local bookshop, independent bookseller called Volumes of Pleasure, in Los Osos, California. And I know so many bookstores are disappearing, but it really is a wonderful place to find little treasures, and the booksellers are happy to make recommendations. The owner of the shop knew every book in her store, and there were thousands of books in there. So I'm gonna read this and continue on my process. I'll let you know how this book was, and just continue on your journey of exploration into the self and your awareness of your pain body and your healing from your heartbreak and divorce, that word that I don't like to say. All right. Thank you.